Welcome to the Chasing Ebenezer Show. This is a show where we talk about stuff, play you some music, and encourage you to be creative. This season, we are exploring the art of being human. We want to say thank you to our patrons who support us each month. If you want to know more about that, visit us on patreon.com/Chasing Ebenezer. For more information about our musical endeavors, visit chasingebenezer.com. We hope you enjoy the show.
Well, it's nice to be back on the Chasing Ebenezer Show.
So good to be back.
It's been a few weeks since we recorded, so hey, we're back. I'm Heidi, and this is Benjamin.
What was this?
I mean, I wasn't trying to shoot my fingers at anyone.
We don't think you were.
Yeah,
no one thinks you were.
Anyway, we are coming from our living room, and what you can see looks very tidy.
It's great.
But everything else that you can see is a disaster. That's one way I've experienced my humanity most of my life. I am not the tidiest person. So, and how about you? Why don't you tell me that? How you've experienced your humanity, and then we'll...
Yes.
And then we'll say more.
So we got delayed getting started filming because I left a very important item for our recording at a different location. And as I was driving, frustrated, mad, it's rainy outside, so I'm just in a bad mood in general.
Okay, so everyone can enjoy your bad mood right now.
Yes, this
okay.
is what this is for.
That sounds good.
But I realized, oh wow, this is the second time I've done this in about a week where I've left something important somewhere else, and I've had to go make the trip to go get it, and I'm sure you can relate to that. But I just realized I am moving so fast mentally that I'm missing details. And so I'm just realizing, okay, I'm not a machine. I need to slow down no matter what my task is. So that's what I'm doing.
Good job. Good job.
And before we get any further, I want to say a big thank you to our patrons.
Who are also humans.
And one of our favorite humans, Miel Bombardier. Did I say it right?
You have to ask her.
I'll have to ask you. You can Mel.
We call her Mel.
Upped her giving for us, so big shout out to her.
Thank you to everyone.
You so very much. Your giving does help. It helps us get better equipment. It's going to help us with recording a new album, all of those fun things. So thank you. What are some things you're excited about?
Well, I got Christmas toys for myself. Sorry if you're just listening, you can't really see them, but we have a tiny apartment, so we haven't generally put up a big tree.
Right.
We have a little Charlie Brown type size tree, but I felt like I should buy myself some toys.
You should.
So
you absolutely should.
I bought myself Santa Rex.
Santa Rex. Okay.
I just love the look on this T-Rex's face.
Did you name?
Yeah, this is Santa Rex.
Very cool.
This is Piggy Christmas.
Piggy Christmas.
This little reindeer pig. And this is...
White elephant.
Yeah, this is the white elephant.
So there you go.
So it's just... I have others, but these are, I think, some of my favorites. I don't want the other ones to feel bad. But these are some of my...
Isn't it so funny that we feel that way
I do.
still as adults?
I have a Christmas flamingo, Pinky over there. Yeah, I didn't want them to all feel bad, but
and you're feeling guilty that they're not being included in your presentation.
I feel a little, yeah. Oh, there's there's Moo Cow over there. Oh man, there's just so many cute ones. It was hard to choose. So yeah, I'm an adult child, as we talked about. So I'm excited about my Christmas toys, and I'm excited about the movie we helped film. Were you going to talk about that?
No, you.
That wasn't it. Oh, well, I am not an actress. I am dramatic, but I am not an actress. But as of this past weekend, we're like, well, maybe I am.
You are
maybe just not a
serious
actress, but just maybe kind of more like someone who might be on SNL, like. Yeah, Kristen Wiig is my hero for acting, so she's amazing. But that's the kind of... So we just laughed and laughed. It's a movie.
We did.
We'll let you know when it's out. So we were able to help be a very exuberant choir. It was really fun.
Yeah, it was great. We had a lot of fun. Filming that. I'm excited because I have some friends to introduce too that people listening to the podcast
also
won't see.
Friends
That I made.
Friends.
I made friends.
I just buy my friends. You make your friends.
I fold my friends. I've been learning how to do paper cranes from memory. And so these are a few that I made. I made a big one, and then I used little paper.
That would be harder to make the smaller folds.
This was a lot harder to do.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah, super fun. Super fun.
Do they have names?
No.
Okay.
I can come up with one.
That's all right. And we are going to continue talking about the art of being human. And the last couple episodes kind of went together. We did 1 week on winning and 1 week on losing.
Yep.
And so this week, are we doing giving this week?
Giving.
And then next week we'll be receiving because they kind of go together.
They do, and it's the right month to be talking about this.
Yeah, I'm like, so give me stuff.
All right. So talking about giving, thinking about like some of the best gifts I've received. You know, I remember my dad sneaking a 12-string guitar into the closet and not telling me about it, and then like Christmas Day he said, "Hey, I think there's another present in the closet, you know, for your mom," or he said something like that, and I remember going like, "Oh my gosh, a 12-string guitar!" You know, that was one. But a gift that I really remember, and it was, I think it was like maybe the first Christmas we had together. It might have been the second one. You made me a songwriting notebook with all these pictures, and I remember opening that and feeling extremely loved. So that's a gift that comes to mind.
Did you use it?
I sure did a few times. I didn't like fill it up.
As long as you felt loved, that's what matters.
But I did use it.
That's what matters. Well, when I was a kid, I think there was this doll called Little Miss Makeup, and I wanted one so badly. It was, you would
put makeup on it?
Well, not real makeup, but depending on the temperature of the water, it would either, like warm water, I think, would make makeup appear, and then cold water would make it disappear.
What's really strange?
But you had a Little Miss Makeup doll?
No, I did not.
No judgment if you did.
I remember those. I think I remember those being advertised.
There was there were so many commercials. And my parents, they kind of said something to the effect of they were all sold out or something. But my aunt, who was in a different area, was able to buy them. So, like, we were basically been told that they were no longer available. So I wasn't expecting to get Little Miss Makeup. But then I did. And it was amazing. And I can't remember if that was the same year or not that we got our Nintendo. I can't remember if that was the same year or not because some of them blur together. But I thought the box to Nintendo looked a certain way. Like, I thought it was a certain size. And so the last gift under the tree was not the size I was expecting it. So I was like so sad because we didn't get it. And then we opened it and it was a Nintendo. Original NES.
The best one.
Boom.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when you think you're not going to get it and then you get it. It's like a really fun feeling.
Yeah, so it's like the best gifts that we get. I mean, because there's things that we want. Right. For birthdays, holidays, those kind of things. But there's gifts that either A, say something about who you are as a person, and those don't necessarily have to be gifts that are bought. Those can be gifts that are made. But also, it's like when like a gift comes in the face of like perceived disappointment.
Yes.
It carries so much more weight.
And I remember a couple times when we first got married, we lived in a house that had an oil heater. And it was so expensive, and I was too I was so cheap and to try to come up with the money. And so I think we were like, oh, we just won't have heat for the winter. And then like 2 times it was filled up for us. Yeah. Unexpectedly. That was not expected. And so that has happened. And, you know, financially, just there's been times where people have just generously surprised us. And so it's when it's unexpected like that and like, you can't reciprocate those things sometimes. So
absolutely not.
So that's why, well, that's not Well, that's receiving. So that's somebody.
But it's somebody.
It's somebody giving to me.
It's somebody
because
giving
we're going
to
to talk
you.
about receiving
Right.
more next week and
Right.
why that can be so difficult.
Well, so what about? I hesitate to say the worst gift or the strangest gift you've ever gotten.
I know exactly what it is.
I can't wait.
One year for Christmas, I will not say who it was from. I got a purse that had mold on it.
Oh. That's pretty bad.
It was a brown, I think it was a brown, and I'm like 12 or 13. So when you're 12 or 13 and someone
that's pretty
gives
bad.
you thank you for my gift, a purse with mold growing on it,
Well,
it's
who
not
wouldn't want a purse with mold
so
on
that's
it?
probably the strangest gift I've ever received.
So, like, the strangest gift that I ever got in recent memory was a gift that I kind of stole from somebody else.
So you gave the gift
I gave
to
the gift to
yourself.
myself. Is this elephant here I got at our house church's white elephant party. And most white elephant parties, you end up with a gift that either makes you laugh or you only kind of want. I have statues of animals in my office, and so this was perfect. So
Super sweet.
super awesome. Yeah. So why are we talking about giving as a part of our humanity? Why do you think those two things are connected?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I think that from the moment that we're born, like we're either receiving or we're giving. Like we're either laughing, like when a baby laughs, like that gives so much joy to the world. The baby's receiving care. So there's just this natural ebb and flow of giving and receiving. And sometimes we can give out bad stuff. We can give
Sure.
out crap
Sure.
too.
Yeah.
And then we can also be people though who we want to receive all the time rather than giving out generosity. I just started reading A Christmas Carol again.
Yeah?
Mr. Scrooge was not a giver. Oh no.
No, he wasn't.
So he got some schooling from the spirits. So I think that I mean, to me, it's just part of the cycle of life. And if especially in a relationship, if those are out of balance, like say
Yeah.
one person's doing all the work at maintaining the relationship and the other person isn't reciprocating, then it can cause this imbalance. Resentment. It can happen.
It can. And it can happen without warning and all of a sudden. So I'm told.
You are great at giving. We're all good at giving different things too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking about it as part of being a human being. And sometimes we have to learn how to be a giver too. Part of being human is learning. So I don't always know how to give well. Sometimes I feel responsible. So sometimes I can give more than I actually ought.
Yeah.
So it's a really tough balance.
Yeah. So I have what we're talking about with giving is being generous, and I just demonstrated generosity right now because my cat likes to sit on my side of things, don't you?
So if we were talking about cultivating generosity, then there you go. You had good practice, and you didn't really want to give her your
No, I
seat.
didn't. So generosity is hard for some people, and I think generosity can be there can be a toxic generosity as well.
Tell us more.
So toxic generosity, I think, is where we are really giving for the purposes of making ourselves feel good. And when it doesn't get reciprocated, then all of a sudden you get resentful of the person. And I think
that
we all
makes
can,
sense.
we can all struggle
like they didn't
with that.
say anything, or they didn't say thing, or they didn't respond. So like anonymous giving, like that's a good way to test yourself.
Exactly.
If I give this anonymously, will I still do it?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. Ooh, toxic generosity.
Yeah.
You're so smart.
So what do you think makes generosity hard for people?
Because it costs something.
Yeah. It can cost money.
Time.
Time,
Energy.
creativity, energy. Yeah. I like giving gifts. Like, I'm really excited to give you your gifts at Christmas.
I can't wait to get them.
But I do feel a level of anxiety about it because there's a fear of failure on the part of the giver.
Oh.
And so if you're afraid of failing, then sometimes it's easier just not to try, right? Sometimes generosity is hard. I know for me, because I'm usually just selfish and focused on what I need, and I'm not getting my needs met, or I don't think I'm getting my needs met. So to think about somebody else, that's hard.
Why didn't you want to give Punky your seat?
That was more of a technical reason, because I was afraid it was going to screw up the camera. It was going to mess up the volume. But it's so worth it because
we are such a well-oiled machine here.
Look at how happy she is right now.
She is.
Yeah, like generosity is something that it goes against. It's something that is a part of our human nature, but in some ways it goes against our human nature to be generous. Some of it just goes back to what I was talking about. I think being in a hurry. Like, I hate generosity requires slowing down and thinking of somebody else.
True.
I hate having to do that.
True.
You do it very naturally, I've noticed.
I mean, I think I am inclined to be generous.
You are. You're very inclined.
But there's still those areas, like time. Time is something that, because I feel like I have so little of it, it is hard for me sometimes with time to not want to hoard my time.
So maybe it's not about generous in general. I think we all have things that we're generous with and things that we're stingy with, like all of us.
I would agree.
Would you agree with that?
I would agree.
Yeah. So maybe a good thing for those of you who are listening or watching to think about is, what do you find yourself naturally inclined to be giving with, and what do you find yourself to be stingy with, and maybe journal about why. Because some of us do it without even thinking.
Oh, sure.
Like we don't slow down enough to think, why do I feel resistant about giving my time right now? What is it about that? What is it about giving this gift that makes me stressed? And just do some exploration with that. What do you think giving has to do with creativity? Like what is it as artists and people who are inclined to make things? Mm-hmm. How does generosity play into that process?
I think that if you are not where you want to be at as an artist, then we can withhold encouraging other artists. We can not encourage them or compliment them or support them because we feel insecure about ourselves. So I think that's why it's important to have a rhythm of supporting other artists who you admire, because they probably feel everyone has an area that they feel,
everyone is insecure.
Everyone is insecure. Yeah.
Everyone is insecure.
If you're not, let us know about that.
Yeah.
So, I think that giving is so important, and not withholding praise and affirmation and from other artists.
That is such a good point. I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, a lot of times when someone's good at something and we don't say it, it's usually because there's something going on.
Yeah, we're insecure. So why do we withhold? Why do we withhold words of affirmation?
Yeah.
You're
really good with that. Like, I noticed that you affirm a lot of other artists.
I try.
Yeah.
But still.
Well, let me tell you how I know it plays out with me. Okay? Anyone who knows me as a musician knows that I have an allergic reaction to cover songs. I do. I work in churches, and I pretty much play cover songs, other people's songs, all the time. And I have not as much of an issue doing it at church, but when it comes to playing like in a bar, I want to play my own music. But part of that, if I'm being reflective and self-aware, is more about, I don't feel like I get enough affirmation about the songs that I write, so I have to settle for playing other people's songs instead of saying, hey, I'm playing other people's songs to help them feel welcome in the environment that they're in. Which you've really taught me a lot about that. That's helped me a lot, be a little bit more generous as a creative with that. Yeah.
It's hard.
It is. Austin Kleon talks about this in one of his books, about like making gifts for people. And as creatives, ask yourself the question, am I making a product or am I making a gift? Because a product is something that builds your brand and builds your identity, something that you sell. A gift might be something that somebody gives you money for, but a gift is done from a place of love.
Well, I've tried to think about art as it being a love letter to whoever might receive it. And once you get away from that, it can be not very soul driven. It becomes product. So yeah.
That's really good.
I try to be really good.
So when it comes to like maybe cultivating generosity and a sense of giving, what would be some prompts that you would recommend for us to kind of get started on that?
Well, you all already mentioned the journaling, and you can go to our Patreon page and download one of those for free every week. I think a good practice would be giving something anonymously, like the practice of giving something that you're not going to be thanked for personally. And
wow. Okay,
we're not talking about a T-shirt that you don't like anymore that you're giving to Goodwill. That's not,
Here's this thing that I didn't know what to do with in my house.
If the purpose is to experience giving something, you know yourself. Be honest with yourself. Be honest. Because that's not really generosity. That's just cleaning your house out,
That's right. That's right. That's good.
You could read A Christmas Carol. I'm reading it now. I got the large print, guys, because I don't want to be like squinty. So I got the large print, but I'm already it's only like 4 thick chapters long. So you could read that before Christmas. No problem. And, spend some time with Mr. Scrooge. If you prefer not to read, you could watch one of those. There's how many movies? There's a Muppets.
So many.
There's a Muppets Christmas Carol, Scrooged with Bill Murray, so you can get that story of stinginess. Or Die Hard. John McClane is a giver of violence and ammunition. And protection of those he's being. And then
you're welcome.
What's his name?
Alan
the bad
Rickman?
guy.
Yes,
Alan Rickman. Oh, yes. He's passed away.
Best villains of all time.
I know. So his villain, yes, would be the opposite of that. So, yes, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And maybe try to make one gift for someone. You could even make a paper crane, like Mr. Paper
Crane
person here. Something just really not expensive, but just something that's thoughtful.
Yeah, that's good.
Did you have any?
No,
Your Die Hard contribution was
that was it. That was it. So the song that we're gonna do is a original Christmas song that I wrote a few years ago.
It's not a cover song.
It's not a cover song. It's called 400 Years, and it was written about, if you read the Bible, it's about John the Baptist's dad and how he goes into the temple and God is offering him the gift of a son, and he doesn't believe that he's going to, he has a hard time believing that
he and
it's
his
going to happen.
wife are well along, and they have not been blessed with children. So it's a miracle to believe it. Yeah.
So, enjoy that. And we will see you next week, and we'll be talking about receiving gifts. All right. We love you. We'll see you soon. Bye. 1, 2, 3.
This day 400 years, choked down hope and dried my tears. Silence ain't the hardest thing, it's the sound of this temple settling. With every creak, no fire falls, no word is spoke, nothing at all. Tough to keep an open heart when you're throwing prayers into the dark. Tough to keep an open heart when you're throwing prayers into the dark. Cynicism feels so safe, blends life's wild colors into gray. But in black and white it's hard to see the burning bush in front of me. No room for grief, no room for joy. How can it be? I'll have a boy. Tough to keep an open heart when you're throwing prayers into the dark. Tough to keep an open heart when you're throwing prayers into the dark. Scales fall like ashes from my eyes. My faith is stirred, my tongue is tied. Raging fire now burns inside. 300 days I gotta keep it quiet. Raging fire now burns inside. 100 days I gotta keep it quiet.